Hello and welcome to Fully Charged News. I'm Robert Llewellyn.
And I'm Jonny Smith.
We're very excited to be here in the Fully Charged vegetable garden, which as you can see hasn't got a lot of vegetables growing in it this year.
We can live down here for months.
In fact, there's a bunker under that shed, just in case it really kicks off.
It's preppers.
Yeah, that whole shed just tips up and it goes down into a massive warren of preppers, bunkers, loads of guns, radio-controlled Land Rovers. Sorry. Really super quick story just to start us off, which was the UK government announcement. No, they don't want any more petrol or diesel cars to be made after 2040. So not exactly rushing it.
No.
2040 is quite a long way off.
It's too hard to really comprehend.
Isn't it, 2040? You'll still be young with a thick head of dark hair.
I don't know.
2040. But anyway, Jesse Norman, who is the current, I love saying that about any politician, the current parliamentary undersecretary at the Department of whatever department he was.
Transport.
Transport, he must be, mustn't he?
Yeah.
Said that the government has a manifesto commitment for almost all cars and vans on our roads to be zero emission by 2050. I love that. That's a nice open policy. We said almost all. So those three are electric and the rest are diesel.
That's good, yeah.
But it is good. It is good.
We believe this would necessitate all new cars and vans being zero-emission vehicles by 2040.
So basically, every government's saying this. The French said it recently.
Yeah,
the Germans are about to say it, apparently. Norwegians are already doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking of Nissan Leafs, the new Nissan Leaf. We're very excited about that. We're very excited about the new Nissan Leaf. It is being launched on September the 6th.
September the 6th, yeah, which is going to be great. Because the thing about the Leaf is it's the best-selling electric car globally. It is. It is by actually a massive margin. Because the Teslas get all the news, but actually what's actually selling around the world is the Nissan Leaf. The big question is, how different it's going to be. Is it just a different body, is it a bit of a different interior, or will it have greater range? We've heard rumours. Strong ones. Strong
rumours, about 200 miles.
And also the monies.
And the monies, how much more money? I mean, they're going to be the first company, I think, on a real global scale who have the economies of scale potential, don't they? Because they've got big factories that are already making them. Norway, I just want to mention Norway, because it is the best test bed for mass adoption electric vehicles. So 42% of new car sales in Norway are electric now. Wow. Pure electric, not even hybrids. That's pure.
42%.
42%. In the UK, it's 2%. And actually, what's amazing, it's about 2%. Yeah, it's only 2%. But when you think now, especially we'd notice it, but I'll go around England now and I'll see electric cars all over the place. Yeah, and that's 2%. But last time I was in Norway, which is a couple of years ago, you could see queues in Oslo of just electric cars, and then you'd see a Volvo going the other way, and everyone would look at it and go, "Oh, it's one of them old Volvos." I mean, literally. And this is Leafs, Teslas. They've got about 3 of their own brand. I can't remember the makes in Norway of little city cars. Yeah. And then there's car
remember
parks.
the Think?
The Think, that's what I was thinking.
Remember the Think?
Yeah.
I never got to drive one
before
I've never went bankrupt. No. A real shame.
But there's still a lot of Thinks around.
Is there?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of thinking in Oslo.
There is a lot of thinking.
But there are car parks in Oslo where every single car park space has a charging point.
Wow.
Not a sprinkling round the one corner.
I mean, I know it's a sparse population.
It's a much smaller population, very high income from oil.
I drove an Audi R8 in Norway once on a job.
Oh, that must have cost a lot.
And people, it got mobbed. And I was like, I know it's nice, but what's going on? And the person said, "Do you know how much this costs in Norway?" And I went, "No," because I was thinking in the UK, 120, 130 grand. It's over £300,000.
Wow.
Here.
Wow, the equivalent cost. Wow.
Well, that's being followed everywhere.
Because that was a Norwegian told me that. He said, of course people are buying Teslas. It cost about the same as a Ford Focus in Norway. Because the Ford Focus has this massive tax lump on it, and a Tesla has a big reduction of it.
So they meet.
So they're not quite the same, but it's not much more than buying a Ford Focus to buy a Tesla, which is why they've sold tens of thousands of them. And there really are thousands of Teslas in Norway. It's very, very popular.
If I was going to emigrate, it would be one of the only countries I would consider.
Oh, really? Wow.
I love Norway.
But you have to speak Norwegian.
For sure.
That's quite difficult.
For sure.
And it's quite difficult because they all speak perfect English.
They do speak perfect English.
And now you've found out a lot about the taxi, the new London taxi. I'm very excited to see this. You've got notes.
Look at these.
Copious notes.
Notes.
Not just casual notes, copious. Deep research.
Yep, so hurrah, the new London black taxi, which is called the TX, not the TX5, just the TX.
All right.
Okay, it is arrived. It was at Goodwood Festival of Speed a few weeks back. Yeah. It is a plug-in hybrid, all new ground-up design. Right. The company is rebranded. They've called themselves the London EV Company.
That's right.
or LEVC. But of course, this car was designed in Barcelona, and its parent company who owns it is Geely.
Right.
Who own Volvo.
Who own Volvo.
So, and obviously you know that they sell a lot of EVs in their native China.
Yes.
So it's all starting to make sense with the Volvo bold claim about them becoming predominantly EV and plug-in. Anyway, this car goes on sale on the 1st of August, so pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it uses a lot of Volvo technology. So it means it could be comfortable for both driver and passenger, which is going to be a revolution for black cab drivers who are all crippled.
Yeah, they're all squashed up in the front of a very hot cab with a big diesel engine rattling right next to their knee.
Yeah. It's been trialled first in London in October, and they've been trialling it all over Arizona. They've been doing 300 miles a day in lots of testing, but they're going to be built in Britain. In Coventry.
In Coventry, just up the road. It's only up there. It's just up there.
It is. It's about 30 miles.
30 miles away.
Amazing. Yeah. So it's the first new car factory in UK in over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's big. I've been past it. I haven't been around it yet. But it's a big. It's not like a little shed. It's
a huge amount of investment. They think they're going to be. I read that they're going to be creating over 1,000 new jobs.
Right.
Spent 325 million quid on this. But what's great is it's a range extender car. It's going to be globally exported. They're going to make a commercial version of it in 2018 on this chassis.
Right.
And what
you mean a commercial like a van, a delivery van?
Like a delivery van, which is again for inner city especially great. But this car has a Volvo 1.3 3-cylinder petrol motor, which is a generator. So it's a range extender thingy. Battery pack will do over 70 miles EV only.
Right.
Total range over 400 miles.
So every cabbie I've ever spoke to, they reckon 90 to 120 miles is what they actually do on a long day.
Yeah. And they're saying that the savings of this over a conventional cab...
They're going to be colossal.
They're going
to be absolutely freaked out when they start driving them.
And their legs will work when they get out. They won't feel like a spider in a matchbox, which is basically what most black cabs are experiencing right now. And also the increase in fast charges around London by the end of 2018 will mean hopefully the infrastructure will grow with this new influx of black cabs. Yeah. So I'm actually quite excited. I want to drive one.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, I think we should have well, I want to be in the back when you drive it.
You be in the back. Yeah. I'll slag off everything to you. And I want a big tip.
And then you can say, do you know I had in the back of my cab?
And you'll say, why am I tipping a man that has body odour and is potentially racist?
Not all taxi drivers are racist.
It was a pure joke.
Not all of them. But if you want to find a racist, that's a good place to start. A recent conference that was held by the National Grid got a lot of press recently, and I was meant to go and I couldn't go, but I watched it streaming online and it worked.
You're so
but that thing where I remember trying to watch things streaming online, I could never see it and it was just a spinny thing. It worked beautifully. But it was very interesting. So they talked about all manner of things in the National Grid, not just electric vehicles, but that became quite a big topic. The key thing that came out of it is that if every car we had now in the UK was instantly electric and plugged in, but we used some smart technology which already exists, which fluctuates the amount of power that goes into them. So if people charge them at night, which is when they would charge them, then we wouldn't need that much because there's plenty of extra that we've got. Excess energy there. That didn't get in the papers. What got in the papers was if every car was an electric car now and we all plug them in, we'd need 8 gigawatts, which is essentially about 3 new Hinkley Point Cs to be running flat out 24 hours a day to charge all these cars. And that's what got the headlines. It was purely
negative line, wasn't it, on that?
There's an amazing project we covered on Fully Charged a while ago called Electric Avenue. There's now become Electric Nation, where there's clusters of electric cars in housing estates. There'll be 8 people in one bit, all off the same small subgrid. Plug your car in, and it might charge at 3 amps or 5 amps. It depends. It all varies them all so that it doesn't flood it. So it doesn't overload the local grid. And that stuff, it already exists now, and it's a thing you can bolt on. It's not like a massive new rewiring job. It's exactly the same grid that already exists.
That's Robert's house, just so you know.
There,
he's a borrower. Much smaller. That Land Rover's real.
That Land Rover is my real.
I am much closer to you than him. He's
because we've got a special lens on me that makes me look bigger. So the last story I want to cover at the moment is Faraday Future, which I remember I did a thing about their launch, which was one of the not the most successful and slick, new car company launches that's ever happened. And it was my critique was more about showbiz rather than the actual vehicle. The actual vehicle is obviously very impressive, it's very fast, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it was just the way they presented it was just a bit awkward. It was awkward.
It was a bit like when Lotus, towards the end of their normal existence, suddenly went to a motor show and wheeled out Sharon Stone and Brian May and all these random famous people.
Right.
But like, and said, we're going to be bringing out like 100 new models in the next 12 months. And everyone was like, you can't possibly do this.
Yeah. And they didn't.
And they didn't.
But so Faraday Future has become a slightly unfortunate name, because they were going to build this £1 billion factory outside Las Vegas. I went past the site and it's got big signs up there. There's nothing there, it's desert.
Okay.
But it says, the home of Faraday Future, and all the models of it and the pictures of it looked amazing. This huge mega factory they were going to build. Yeah, it was a $1 billion production facility, and it has been delayed, and now it's gone. So
not Faraday Future then?
No, they're a bit Faraday past, aren't they? Which, it has to be said, does sound like a folk rock fusion band from the early 1970s. That were the support band for Steel Eye Span.
Yes.
I'd swear, because I reckon it's like a rainy Thursday night, 1972, November, Doncaster Town Hall, Steel Eye Span, massive tour, huge success.
Huge.
Album sales off the charts.
My parents bought all of their albums. Yes, it's true.
If you're young,
All Around My Hat.
All Around My Hat was a massive hit.
Massive. I wish I didn't know that.
It's worth Googling Steel Eye Span.
All around my hat I will wear the green willow, and all around my hat.
I did see them.
Did you? So you're relating to real life here.
Yeah, and I can remember sitting through quite dull folk rock fusion concerts. Going, I bet this is really good, but I'm quite bored.
Faraday passed.
Faraday passed. Ladies and gentlemen, please. No, that's too showbiz.
Yeah, it's
much
way
more.
too.
It's much way.
Whispering Bob.
Right, Whispering Bob Harris. We're very proud to welcome onto the stage Faraday passed. And there'll be one guy comes on with a lute, and he'll play a lute solo for like an hour, wearing brown
smock,
a brown smock and brown flared corduroys.
I'd actually go.
I'd go and see them now.
I would watch them.
They'll be playing at WOMAD. They're all a bit bald now, but you know.
Faraday passed.
Faraday passed. It's such a silly idea. Anyway,
it's a shame. It is a shame.
It is a shame, but it doesn't look like they're going. They've had. Because they've been funded by a Chinese company, a really big, successful Chinese company, Leteco, and I think they've just gone, this isn't going to happen. Yeah. It's a bit awkward.
Well, it was the Nevada Independent that reported the Faraday will now attempt to build something smaller than the initial 13,000 job factory, thanks to hundreds of billions in frozen funds.
Yeah, what does that mean? I've got hundreds of billions of frozen funds.
Does that mean they don't quite exist?
Haven't got them.
That you've invented them in your head? It's like a mental Bitcoin.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mental Bitcoin could be massive.
The Faraday Future are not the future.
Not yet, no. They might be. Let's hope they are. I don't wish them ill at all.
No,
The car looks very interesting.
I know a guy. I bought some car parts off a guy that works for them.
Oh, right. Wow.
For an old Chevrolet.
Wow.
It's not that interesting. But what is interesting is this, and we have a literal news flash. I've just come off the phone.
Wow.
Now, the Tesla Model S, you're familiar with such a car. There's a company based in Norfolk that's like a little hotbed of engineers who are from Lotus, and a couple of guys who have developed stuff like for the McLaren F1 in the past, lots of racing.
So quite clever motoring engineers.
Clever guys. They have grouped together and commissioned by a chap called Phil Hayton, who makes radar safety signs in 30-mile-an-hour zones. That's how he's made his money.
Okay.
He has a Model S. He's frustrated at the fact that his dogs won't fit in it properly. I love these people.
Yeah.
And he's gone, I need something new, but it doesn't exist. So he's commissioned a chap called Dorian Hindmarch.
Who's amazing.
Who's very cool, and a chap called Jim Router, who is ex-Jaguar, ex-Lotus, ex-McLaren.
Wow.
And they are, as we speak, chopping a Model S, the back off, and they're turning it into a sport wagon, a shooting brake.
Or a estate car, would we call it?
An estate car. A very swift estate car.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is...
But not a brand new Tesla.
I think it is new.
Oh my God.
It's been chopped. The moulds for the roof out of carbon fibre are being done as we speak.
Wow.
And we are hopefully going to have a driving exclusive of it. They think it will be out in October, November time.
Perfect.
So you'll be able to order one in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
A Tesla Model S estate.
Yeah,
that is magic.
So it's gonna be lighter, they think, than the original Model S.
Wow.
Because they're going to use the composites, and it'll have extra windows, but it'll be light. And they also think it'll have better aero. They've already got a 1/10 model. They've wind tunnel tested it.
But this sounds like they're doing a very high-end job.
I think they're doing a high-end job, and what they've said is they might make 25 of these. Up to 25.
I see. I thought this was just a one-off thing.
No, they're saying if there's interest, and obviously this is a very bespoke, very high-end, exclusive thing. But if there's enough interest, they could make up to 25 over a 3-year period. But
I'm just thinking, you know, you get to the supercharger, you reverse into position in your Tesla Model S. It's become mundane now.
Oh yeah.
No other Model S. No. It's just another Model S. No. But you reverse in a Model S estate.
Shooting brake.
A shooting brake, and you get out very casually, and you just pop in the old supercharger plug. Still works. And everyone's going, oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want one.
I have to say, this has really struck a chord with me because I like estate cars.
Right.
My wife's just got her first plug-in, and it's an estate, but obviously it's not pure EV.
Yeah.
There aren't any pure EV estates. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I mean, the nearest you could say is the Model X because it's got a big But it's
That's
not
like
an
a
estate.
Beetle-backed SUV.
But it's an SUV, yeah. The news that gets broken on fully charged news now is absolutely cutting edge. We're usually about 2 or 3 months behind, but in front of behind.
In front of behind?
We're about 2 or 3 months behind any blog post, but we're about 2 or 3 months ahead of the BBC, ITV, Channel 4 News. I mean, they'll catch up eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for. But very importantly, we have got, thank you, Jonny, because Jonny pointed this out.
I spilled coffee on my script.
Yeah, that makes it look really, I know, that is very professional. 2 quick Patreon shout-outs, David Taylor and Andy Stroud.
And thank you to all Patreon.
Yeah, all of you. Yeah, no, we should really say thank you to everyone who's supported us on Patreon, but there's quite a lot of names. We'd have to do a special show where we just read out 2,100 and
Let's
something.
Let's do that at Christmas in front of a fire.
I just read out just the names.
Horrible jumpers on. And we'll just have a list of names.
That's
really
all it is,
long.
nothing else.
No, it's just the names.
Just the names.
We'll do it. We'll try and
do that. Yeah, I think so. That's
many
a good idea.
names.
Yeah, great stuff.
We might be drinking while we do that.
We might be. Anyway, that's all we've got time for.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
guys.
Jonny. That was really great. Thanks for. We should describe a bit more about the Land Rover. We'll give you more information about the Land Rover. It's genius. I desperately want one for Christmas. I've already asked my family.
I'm late for a gig, Faraday Pastor playing at the Village Hall.
They're playing the Village Hall. We've got to go, man. Faraday Pastor doing a gig. But please subscribe. Have a look at the Patreon link. We'd love your support. And of course, as always, if you have been, thank you for watching.
Thank you.